Welcome back to This Week in Jump, number 11, part 3.
Continuing with the list, we have number 6, Boruto, chapter 34.
So this is the resolution to fighting Delta and Naruto. Delta was, in the previous chapter, overloaded with chakra and just short-circuited.
And then Rasengan.
Huge Rasengan into the ground several meters down. She made a screeching noise once Naruto got closer, and she essentially self-destructed.
Kawaki predicted this, and Naruto was able to basically have like an idea of if something bad was coming.
Yeah.
And we have the drone that was watching be sent back. What is his name? Some of these names are just like, what? Who are you? Koji. So Koji has the drone retreat, and he notices that Naruto won't be strong enough to beat a character named Jigen. But that karma is the secret to defeating him, but Boruto has that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And we get back to the village. Kawaki still has his arm missing from sacrificing it. Mm-hmm. And their science ninjutsu stuff is only set up to work with the Hokage. Mm-hmm. So Naruto has to power his arm, but it gives him full mobility as long as he's awake. And Naruto is like, it's basically like I'm having a Kagebushin no jutsu up at all times. It's no big deal because he already does that anyway.
Yeah.
And he has a large pool of chakra because he has Kurama. And he teases him that that Boruto wants it, then he should cut off his arm.
Like, I'm not gonna cut off my arm. What, are you crazy? Like, no.
They go back to the hideout for Kara with the drone. It lands, and we see that there's actually 2 deltas in chambers that are sealed. Yeah. So I'm guessing the one that's open was the one that we saw, and somehow she's split, but she can retain all of her memories from the fight that just happened.
Yeah, she's waking up just furious, and this might not just be a transfer of consciousness, but also, I don't think she's a person.
Oh, you think she's like an android type thing?
I think she's very much just an android.
Do you think all the members of Kara
I don't think so. I think you need to have some engineers there that are...
Oh, well, because like the guy, she teases the guy. He's a researcher, the one who was in the room with her, the one with the glasses. I don't think they gave him a name. She just refers to him as a geezer. Mm-hmm. And then she meets up with another member who gives her flack, and she kicks him, and he looks like he's kind of like digitized, and he's able to dodge the attack or become incorporeal. And then we see another member who I don't think we've ever seen that character before.
I don't think so.
And also giving them more crap. It's basically just...
Yeah, Delta, because she wasn't supposed to go in. Remember that.
Yeah.
They were just supposed to stay outside.
Yes.
And do reconnaissance there. They weren't supposed to go inside.
Oh.
So of course she's getting this flex. It's well deserved.
And she also reveals that somebody else has karma. And that is Boruto. And that whoever has it will apparently be a vessel. I guess that's what their end goal is to have that entity Momoshiki possess Boruto as their end goal? Or is it anybody with karma?
I think it's anyone with karma, because I think anyone that has that can be a vessel.
So Kawaki is still staying there and asks if he can be trained.
As a ninja.
Yes. Naruto obliges. And thus
Training montage.
Training montage, and then Kawaki actually starts trying to repair the vase that he broke.
With super glue that Boruto gave him.
Yes. And apparently he starts collecting the trading cards, and he actually pulls the fourth Hokage. Yeah. And Boruto, being Boruto, only can get Naruto.
Yeah.
So Kawaki offers him to trade him for it. Obviously, because he looks up to the 7th now, or at least sees him as like a good person. He would much rather have that card than the 4th Hokage, which he has no association with.
Yeah, he even states that he has no association with him. We have the training montage where he's actually
training
doing
montage
fairly well.
/ interaction montage. He's actually becoming more and more sociable with the other kids. And then he's going to leave because he tries to pour water in to test to make sure that the vase is sealed. It's still missing a piece. But Kurama suddenly appears out of Naruto and tells him to stay, not to stray from Naruto's side.
To sit. I think this is Naruto's chakra merging with his own.
And that's why he's able to see him.
That's why he's able to see him. Because no one else has had a conversation with Kurama other than Naruto. And,
correct.
The fort's wife. Can't remember her name. But the Uzumaki.
Insert name here. Yeah. Number 5. Promised Neverland. Chapter 132.
Okay.
Where to begin with this? So
we have the queen speaking out to her nobles, to the regent house. Mm-hmm. We got their introductions previous chapter. We get them again instead of some more dialogue.
And they all point to the theft and the destruction of the farms as being done by basically the civilians, the demons themselves.
Yeah.
They have no idea that it's humans.
Yeah. This gave it a lot more meat than I gave it credit. The first read through, I had to reread this because
it's a little subtle. Well, it's blatant, but at the same time, it's like if you read it too fast, you're not going to catch that. It's like, wait a minute, did I hear that right? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they think
that's a new kind of bandit.
Yes,
and that if they've eaten the cattle there, then they would be as intelligent, if not more intelligent than them, or on par with them.
Yeah,
which would be a threat to their power,
including those at Lambda and those research facilities connected to Lambda.
Yes. Which it seems like there was a direct correlation between both there was like two different paths at these facilities where they would focus on making the child physically strong or incredibly intelligent. So if you combine those and ate both of those, you would have both qualities.
Yeah. Like Adam being of superior strength, where Norman...
Adam's a friggin' beast.
Yeah. Where Norman, I would say... or
hyper-intelligent.
Vincent, I believe, is also hyper-intelligent because you see the scarring of his head.
Zazie is physically capable.
Yes, absolutely.
So she decides that they will take care of it before Tefari.
Yeah. Which is speaking with the ruler of the demon realm, correct?
I believe it's supposed to be
ruler god,
the one that Emma and Ray are trying to meet. That entity.
Yes.
The one that we can't pronounce. So they decide to send a massive army out to go out and quell them.
I want him to be given a name instead of that.
The characters?
The characters I can't read. Right now, I just have him as Carl. And
Coral.
He can't have such a simple name without it sounding kind of special. Because if it doesn't have anything very special, I'm going to be disappointed.
The name was Jim.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Name's Jim.
I don't know. Very, very plain.
Yeah.
So, apparently that capital was being watched the entire time, So they are able to send word once they notice that they're sending an army out. It gets back to Vincent. Vincent relays that to Norman. Norman says that everything is going exactly according to plan.
Yeah. He knew this is what they were going to do. They were going to make an all-out statement to just to nip this in the bud.
Yes. And as a result, the capital will be left mostly undefended because of the large army that will have gone out to go fight a phantom. There is nobody out there doing that.
The only ones that might be out there, that might be placed there, is the new alliance that they made. But I'm not sure if they were going to send them there or lead them to the hideout there, or if they were actually going to use them to fight the regions.
And Norman is also aware of the Tefari. And they also ask, what about the ones with the evil blood? And they already have a plan for that. And one of Norman's people goes to Don and Gilda and asks to speak with him. I'm a little bit suspicious of that.
Norman would not use his family as bait.
Not as bait.
I think he...
But I wonder why. I wonder what he's going to do. What he's going to ask them to do.
I think he might ask them for more information other than Emma and Ray about these evil-blooded people.
I would think that he would ask them to tell them where they were. And then he would have Zazie or somebody go and execute them. So they would inadvertently give them information. Just say, hey, we want to get them and bring them back here. Or not even, he wouldn't even have to say that. Norman's very eloquent. He would find a better way of saying it and doing it. So
I'm not sure really what's going on here with Don and Gilda.
And then we cut back to Ray and Emma, who are confused.
They're ready for fighting off demons. They have guns ready, bows ready.
We were ready for the Seven Walls.
Yeah. And
what do they see? They're back at Gracie Field.
Yeah. Look.
Grace Field.
What?
See.
What?
Are they? Are they back at Grace Field? Is that like a projection? Are they actually at the location? There's like several different possibilities. Like they're either physically transported back there, which would mean that they would have to trek all the way back, or this is just something from their memory that they're being shown.
Or it could be another farm that is
identical.
If they know it as their own, they also burned their own, they would notice any scorch marks or anything that's been broken down, repaired. They'd be able to notice those little inconsistencies. I think this might be just in their head. A shared memory of theirs that is created to tug at their fear.
Very likely.
I think this is just a manifestation
of that
in their heads. I don't think this is a physical thing.
Okay. Number 4. Chainsaw Man, Chapter 19.
Yeah! I also have this in number 4.
I could not help but put this super high this week. I love the gore. I love that I was right. That's another thing is I predicted it last week.
Mm-hmm. You did.
My chainsaw's been retracted. I'm out of blood. And then he starts drinking the blood. The blades come back out.
He bites. He bites the devil.
Yeah.
And it says, "Ouch!" And he gets even more blood.
Well, it feels the pain.
Yeah. As long as he keeps, blood circulating in himself and the outside, he can keep his gears and his chainsaws lubricated to keep on going.
Yes. And then we cut to Himeno.
Yeah. Himeno.
I said it sometimes sounds weird.
Yeah.
Himeno, who's seeing this from on high, this is where she got they must have a few screws loose to survive as a devil hunter. It's from her master. And it's, I guess, when he asks her about Aki and whether he's sane or not, because everybody else that she's had has been quote-unquote sane. And that the devils fear people who have a screw loose because they're unpredictable. And as such, Aki's collecting the pieces, so eventually he's going to meet the gun devil. And it's at this point that she tries to dissuade him once they're eating at the same restaurant again. I'm guessing some time has passed because Aki looks more like his usual self. And she's asking if he wants to switch over to the civil service and get out of devil hunting. But he doesn't want to.
Yeah. Because he has some screws loose.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little weird.
And then we come back to the it's really one-sided, but it's so good. I love it. And Genji is just going ham, cutting blood everywhere.
Yeah.
He passes out on the ground, and Himino uses the ghost devil to pull his ripcord again.
Yeah, and keep him going.
Then he has the eureka moment of he's a perpetual motion machine. Drink the blood, recover, and stab. Just keep going, and
keep
she's
more
noticing
blood.
that he's bonkers.
It tastes like sewer water, but he's able to he's okay with drinking this because he's able to keep on going.
In some other translations, they say like rat's blood.
Oh,
I probably would have kept that because it's a little bit more vile, and since he's drinking blood, it would make sense to compare it.
But I think sewer water is better. Remember his previous life. I don't think he's drank rat's blood. I can totally see him drinking sewer water to keep himself alive in his previous life.
Fair enough. So Himino passes out. I guess they're catatonic, the other Aria and...
because they're just hearing screams.
Either that... I don't want to say I don't think they're dead.
No,
I think they're just catatonic. And she asks if Aki's still alive. Power's loopy.
Yeah,
but they're all okay. And 3 days have passed. And Denji finally gets to the core of the Eternity Devil and says, here's my core, just kill me, end it.
Yeah, I can't take any more pain. Like, it was constantly feeling pain. They figured that out. And one of the ideas was just keep hurting it. Well, it worked. The simplest, most direct plan will work. And his stamina
beat eternity.
Yeah. And he slices on up. And, man, the amount
the chainsaw killed eternity. How many times are you ever going to say that in a sentence?
Very few.
Very few.
But
crazy.
The work with, the last panel, all the faces, all the eyes, all the gore, everything.
It's perfect. It's perfectly...
There's so much detail.
Beautifully nasty.
Yeah.
In its detail.
One of the main reasons I played Gears of War was for that kind of carnage of making you feel great, making you strong, making you feel strong. This definitely feels in that same realm. Not just because of the chainsaws, but because of the gore that is produced.
Gears 5 is coming soon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Number 3. One Piece, chapter 940. God, that's a lot of chapters.
Yeah.
So Law has pieced out because everybody has doubted his crew.
Doubted his crew, and that's a very big slight.
As a result, Usopp and Nami are kind of just hanging out, recanting what's happening.
Yeah, waiting for allies to show up.
In Ebisu Town. And we're shown the 3 guys who had given gifts to the Orion before, and we learned that, I don't know if this is going to be relevant later, Bingo Bongo Bungo.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess it's one of those things.
Yeah.
So, because they are bankrupt, they are forced to stay in Ebisu Town. And we're also told that Tonoyasu gives all of his money away.
Yeah, because
and that nobody remembers who he is.
yeah, he has a daughter,
Toko,
the
one who was laughing
Yeah.
at the palace.
and she works at the palace. So she literally sends most of the money that
Yeah.
she receives to her father,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't need so much, so he just gives it all away to whoever really needs it.
Yep. And they can't remember who he is. So I'm wondering what his original, who he was originally. Because it doesn't seem like he is who he says he is, or maybe maybe he's going by a different name now.
Maybe. But the other thing was how people couldn't remember him,
Mhm.
or how he was tied to all this.
Mhm.
I thought this little space here was, maybe it wasn't Beppo and his crew that were leaking information, that it was him.
Inadvertently saying it just out loud, and then people heard him saying it.
Yeah. I thought they were coming to a conclusion that it was him. No one knows who he is. No one knows his allegiances. That they could have just been spilling all the information to him. That's the way I was reading it here. But we get.
But he has when he looks at the symbol, he's like, "Oh, it's coming soon. The fight's coming soon."
Yeah, but he also doesn't really know what it means for the tattoo.
True.
Like
It's one of those.
it's unique. I don't think it's going that route now because he's helping out so many people.
It would be really messed up if it was just him accidentally doing that.
I actually thought it was him from the get-go, just because of how he looked. But that's me basing something off of looks. And
How dare you
that's
judge
wrong.
a book
That's
by
wrong
its
of
cover?
me.
You monster.
I judge a lot of books by their cover.
Then we go back to Udon, the excavation labor camp. Luffy is still fighting, and how he's fighting with Hoyo on his back makes me think of Luke and Yoda.
100% right there with you. And he's trying to use a force like push.
Yes.
like we said last week. These parallels are great.
Yes. So he keeps trying and trying and trying, and eventually Queen just calls it for the night.
And Luffy's not ready.
Nope.
Like, come on.
Still hasn't mastered his force push, as it were.
Yeah.
Or as they call it, Ryo. Yeah. And they're gonna have a little conversation and reveal who Luffy really is, but with all the guards still around, he just has to use his Emperor's Haki to knock them out from a distance without leaving the ring.
Like, now what do you want to talk about?
He's like, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
So I'm fighting
the
all
four emperors.
the 4 emperors, and I'm beating all of them so that they know I'm boss.
Yes. So Karibo and Raizo appear out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's Karibo's thing. Like,
I know.
hiding.
We know Raizo's been around, just
Yeah.
meandering,
Ninja.
but I didn't think that they'd be together.
No. I didn't think so either. And he's still being kind of manipulative and wants to be an ally of the Straw Hats
To get back home.
to get back home. Like,
And Luffy's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And he's like, I can't tell if this is a trap.
yeah.
And I thought that was great. But Hayo apparently had given up. Like, he was like, I was about to accept my death, my fate, and then just be done. But then all of this happened, and to learn that Momonosuke is still alive, there's still hope.
Yeah, the fire of the rebellion's still burning. Like, this can all start. This can, like, I can actually do something even more for this.
Hey, the rebellion is still burning. You know, like Star Wars.
Alright, this is...
Wano is Star Wars.
Too many things are lighting up, right?
So, he reveals that there are 5 excavation sites that are like this. So the one that they're currently in houses one of the Yakuza lords. And apparently there's one in each one. I'm guessing. I don't think they probably have two in the same one. And Hoyo tells Raizo to go ahead and let out our mysterious character that we've still only seen his eyes, Kawamatsu.
Yeah.
I want to know what he looks like. And I hope we get to see that in the next chapter. And one final thing, in the wilderness of Udon, which looks like they're very close to getting there, you have Big Mom and Chopper.
Yeah.
Still going to...
Wherever that place is. I can't tell if that's another...
I think that's the site that they're at. Because from the outside, that's kind of how it looked when Queen showed up.
Oh, okay.
I think that they're really close.
Or they can be kind of like Promised Neverland, where they all look similar. But also, the Kawamatsu, he has to be a human, because we've seen nothing but humans in the city of Wano. The alpaca man, armadillo man with the smile fruits.
Right.
So he obviously can't have anything like that. I wonder what his big... No. One Piece is all about gimmicks. I wonder what his is.
I don't know. But I am psyched for them tearing this place down and going ham.
Releasing all the prisoners because they were rebellious.
Yes.
And turning a army of several hundred into several tens of thousands.
Yes.
Give them weapons. Oh. Might be a blacksmith.
A Yakuza boss who's a blacksmith?
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
It's One Piece.
But I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just really excited for One Piece.
It's been a while since I've ranked it very high. Yes! 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 You knew it! You knew it! You knew it! This is number 2, though.
Yes.
Demon Slayer. Kimetsu no Yaiba, Chapter 155.
Flashback.
I know you despise them, but... Oh my god. He comments that why do the sick always apologize for their illness?
Yeah, but let me start off this.
Yeah, I'll let you lead this one in.
This will be the second chapter where we go from the fight that we had with the Upper Moon, where his head is chopped off. And they're fighting a headless opponent.
Yeah. But...
Okay, why are we getting all this backstory?
Okay. So...
That's just me. That's literally just me.
Okay. Are you wondering, like, the timetable? Like, how much time is passing in, like, the real world?
Yes, and why this is important.
Because...
we'll go into this.
Okay. So...
You'll go into this because you like it a lot.
It's good. It's so
like
good.
It a lot more.
So, you have Hakuji, who is Akaza, later, who is taking care of the daughter Koyuki. And she's obviously still sick, so he's constantly having to change her towel, keep her as well as she can be.
Yeah, and he has had a lot of experience with this, with taking care of his own father.
And she says that he can just go ahead and go see the fireworks. And he's like, no, I'll see them next year or the year after that, and then you can go. And she's like, starts sobbing and crying. And it's because basically everybody even her own father had kind of given up on, like, her ever getting better. And as such, she didn't really feel like she had a whole lot to live for. But apparently we also learned that her father, Komainu, has a similar character in his name to Hakuji. They use, like, the same character. I guess it's just used in, like, a different... I don't know all of the complexity of the Japanese language, but I know that they use characters that can be read differently.
Okay.
Her dad, the dojo master, was able to get it because of an old man who was very who was saved. He saved him from bandits. I mean, and he felt obliged to give him something as a reward. And the other dojos around were very mad. They wanted the land and the dojo for themselves. So this meant that Hakuji was basically the only student there. So even in his spare time, he was still able to learn the Soryu style of fighting. And then we have 3 years pass, and he's then asked if he'll be the successor to the dojo. After all, Koyuki likes you. Basically, they'd get together, get married.
Yeah,
even though he was a criminal.
Yeah, even though he can most likely give this land to him just right off the bat, but he also wants him to be a part of his family.
Yes. I do wish that they did not include that, and I never imagined that that would be poisoned to death. I wish that they had left that
alone.
Out.
Yes.
Just that was my only gripe.
They could have left that blank, and it would have been A-okay. I read that, and I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, I was just like, they're smiling. What are you talking about? And then he goes to his father's grave to tell him the news. And then when he comes back, because he has a very ugly feeling in his stomach, excuse me. And he finds out that somebody had poisoned the well. And then we also find another flashback of... It's a flashback within a flashback.
Yeah.
Of the fireworks. They got to actually go see them together. Hakuji and Koyuki. God, that's so hard. Koyuki. And that's where she asked if he would marry her. And he said yes.
That he would protect her.
Yes. And that's protect her for life. And in the end, he couldn't do anything. So then he went to the school of the neighboring dojo and killed the 67 members with his hands.
Yeah.
And the way they describe it and then the images they show, it's like he ripped them to pieces.
Yeah.
Not that he just like, oh, he cut their heads off. Oh, he smashed
their heads until a bloody pulp.
He ripped. Like, one of the faces just looks like it's part of the skull that's just torn off.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's any other part of, like... He could have ripped it into, like, 5 different pieces and just thrown it on the ground. A punch to the solar
plexus pulls out ribs with it. Like, it's gruesome. And this is fueled by rage, by revenge, by madness, really.
Yeah, because he has nothing to live for. And then that's when he comes across Muzan, who's just walking along.
Like, saying that, oh...
I thought there was a demon because of all of the blood.
Yeah, but I don't remember putting one here, so it's just you.
And Hakuji tells him to move. Muzan moves up, and then puts his hand through his head, and he says that I'm thinking about creating 12 powerful demons. And he says he doesn't care. He doesn't have anything to live for. And then after that, for more than 100 years, he's been just doing mindless carnage and violence.
Which, in his last moments of humanity, is what he did.
He was crying over his fiancée, because they technically weren't married yet.
No pure successor.
And it's a laughable, ridiculous story, according to him. But I feel like all of this is happening within this... Like, they say when you dream for, like, less than a minute, but it feels like it's hours.
Yeah.
I think it's like that, where it's probably, like, maybe 15 or 30 seconds. But all of this is coming back to him in that span. It's like when they say your life flashes before your eyes, before you die. It's like something oncoming and is going to kill you. It's akin to that, and it also means that if he's able to get these memories back and see everything, maybe he could turn over and be a good guy.
What is that shut off?
It's growing back.
Ah.
It will grow back. Everything on these demons has been shown to be able to do that. Also...
I don't know.
Also, he could have technically moved the core of his head in that millisecond.
Could be.
Or his weakness was never his head, but he kept all of his memories in his heart. Literally.
Yeah.
Number 1. Black Clover, Chapter 202.
Yay!
And I'm pretty sure you can guess why. Yeah, because you read it, so you know why.
I know why. We have
Nero and
Finral.
Finral.
Nero
Nero's-
is talking.
Yes.
I'm shaking my head violently. What? And he's not just squawking, he's talking in full sentences.
Take me to the demon bones.
Yeah, the demon bones. In which case,
You were correct.
I was right.
But more on that later.
Yeah.
Back to the fight between the devil and Yami.
Yeah, and Yami used his dimensional slash to slice off the hand and the wing and I think part of the tail of the devil.
Which actually separates the hand where the grimoire is in him.
Yeah.
He's holding it. And Yami starts kind of understanding what its abilities are.
And he explains it in a very simple way that
It's easy to understand.
easy to understand and throws in a couple of things that I didn't even think about, which is great. But
He's able to summon matter and move it around as one. The other thing that he makes of note is that it must have a finite range because it wasn't able to wither all the way up to Charlotte. I was going to say, I can't remember what the name of...
Charla.
Charla. The elf that's...
Possessing Charlotte.
Yes.
It wasn't able to wither everything away like you said.
And Yami's dark magic has to be dodged or the hit has to be taken. It can't nullify it.
Which is really interesting. I wonder what kind of affinities work against it and what don't. Because Astas is able to cut him.
Yes.
As
But he
well
has
as,
anti-magic.
Yeah, he has anti-magic. Which I'm really not sure what would be the difference here with that and just a regular sword.
Maybe it can take physical damage.
Yeah.
But also, he power scales and shows who's where. That the devil is much higher than him. And he actually acknowledges that Nozel has more magic power.
Yeah. He's placing everyone on a...
Of course, Asta's at the bottom.
Yeah.
But you have him and Licht actually working together in tandem.
Yeah, because
Reflects his attack.
Licht is pretty much just autonomous right now. He's protecting his body and getting rid of any threats nearby. So when Yami throws out a slash and is heading towards Licht doesn't jump into the way of the swipe. He just absorbs it where he is and swipes it on back.
Yes. But this entire time he's never actually used his grimoire.
This is just his natural magic of speaking.
Yes.
Similar to Vanessa, her cat is just always there and
Yes.
always acts on its own.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's on a whole nother dimension of origin.
Yeah, this thing looks like a bunch of sea cucumbers and slime and just grossness. I have no idea really what to equate it to. And I don't know what that symbol means. Oh, it's zzz, zzz. I don't know what that could possibly be.
See, I kind of thought they were like maggots.
Okay, I can kind of see that much more than sea cucumbers. I don't see the threat level of sea cucumbers. Maggots seem much better in
It
this
seems
case.
like a wave of like maggots or some type of weird entity thing. They recite the spell, but it doesn't translate.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that one part I missed from Yami's evaluation of his word magic is why doesn't he just say death or kill.
Oh yeah,
to
it
them.
must have a stipulation.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't even think of that. Yami is much more battle ready than I am, which makes sense.
Which is why you're not a holy knight.
And Yami tries cutting through this thing, and really nothing really happens with it.
Nope.
It's
He just looks like he
bad
got
news.
absorbed or swallowed whole.
The blorp sound effect, I'm not quite sure what it could mean.
Patry, Yuno, Asta, and company
Yeah,
are
just
like, what is this magic?
Yeah, Asta probably doesn't even know
Doesn't
anything.
sense it. He's just kind of like, what? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Finral takes Nero to the demon bones, which are the ones,
From Asta and Yuno's village.
yes, from Hage village.
Hage. And they take the stones out of the monument and then put them in the statue.
Yeah, in his belt and his eye and other places. And it's radiating magic because these are magical stones.
Yes. So it
They
was...
don't know who created them, as far as we know.
Nope. It was sealing. Sealing either the statue's person itself, which would... I don't know the name. It was a prince, wasn't it? I just thought it was whoever defeated the demon.
I think this was the first
wizard?
Wizard King.
Yes. Yeah, the one who defeated the demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which...
I don't think he was a prince. Because I believe this was also the friend of Licht. I think they were one and the same. I could be wrong. But I thought the parallels were...
There is a... Design-wise, that could be entirely possible. Or we just didn't notice it.
Yeah. Anyways, magic is
very
coursing
interested.
through this mannequin statue, and I want to know what's going
the
on.
hell's going on. Yeah, that's why.
Good chapter. Good chapter. I hope the next one meets our expectations for what's coming next. But also,
revealing whatever that is probably going to be number one.
yeah, you said that about Dr. Stone.
No. I was saying, well, there's a distinct possibility because Y-Man could be there.
He could be.
And if it's the same guy who did... There's so many possibilities with that. I want to know the statue, and I want to know what the hell's going on with Dr. Stone.
Yeah. To find out, make sure you catch up on the next couple of chapters, and also tune in for the next This Week in Jump.
Which will be on its regular release date.